Hey guys, I'm up here on Lake Wimico today. It's actually a really beautiful day. We got lucky with some perfect temperatures both this morning and here in the mid-afternoon. My good friend Dusty May behind me was nice enough to bring me up here on his boat. I actually have never been up here to Lake Wimico by boat. I've known about it for years. A lot of guys like to come up here and fish and hunt and just enjoy the natural environment. But Dusty here actually has started a phenomenal group called Bay Savers. Their objective is really important. I think it's really great to learn about. Something I think all of you guys should check out and share with your friends. I'm actually going to let Dusty tell us about Bay Savers and what it's all about.
So Bay Savers was started the concept of Bay Savers was started many years ago by my friend Herman Jones. Herman Jones, great guy, naturalist of our areas. He passed away just after Hurricane Michael. Formerly, Bay Savers was begun probably just before the storm came, so we've probably been in existence maybe 18 months. Bay Savers was formed for three reasons. One, to stop the unregulated and unrestrained stormwater runoff coming into St. Joe Bay during high water events. It was also started to preserve the precious fresh water that's coming down the Apalachicola River. It's supposed to be held in the lake drainage basin and the river drainage basin. Instead, it's leaking out of this system and coming into St. Joe Bay. So the precious fresh water that Apalachicola needs so much for its oyster-based ecosystem is becoming stormwater runoff, which is silt-laden and super detrimental to the sedimentation and turbidity problems we're having from the seagrass beds in St. Joe Bay. So we basically have two problems. All can be solved with one solution. And the third thing is what we're sitting on right now, and that is the integrity of this lake. This is historically a freshwater lake. 100 years ago, there was never any flow through this lake. It's one of the most beautiful lakes in Florida. There's not a single residence or road access to this lake, so it's not unusual that you haven't been here. Most people have not been here. 17,000 acres of beautiful wildlife, and now it's turning into an extended salt marsh because of the flushing, if you will, of salt water from Apalachicola Bay to St. Joe Bay and from St. Joe Bay to Apalachicola Bay. And we describe this in detail on the website. If you're interested in saving St. Joe Bay, if you're interested in saving Apalachicola Bay, if you're interested in preserving Lake Wimico, if you're interested in clearing up the waters along Gulf County's beaches, if you're interested in putting it back the way God made it 100 years ago before we drained the swamp, so to speak, with dredges and canals, check out baysaversfl.org, baysaversfl.org. Our website, pretty inclusive, explains everything we're doing, and we'd love you to join us. We're a grassroots organization, and you know, when these politicians and agency heads see our number of registered members, they realize that's a lot of votes, and they're beginning to really take us seriously. So join us, and together we can make a difference.
Absolutely. Dusty is full of knowledge when it comes to the program of Bay Savers. Their website's phenomenal. It's got a lot of great information on there. It's a great group. I know a lot of you, like me, have always wondered, well, why does St. Joe Bay get, you know, murky and dark in terms of clarity over time? And usually when we get bad weather, it brushes through, but the science basically, which Dusty knows a lot more, and the website says, all of it flows through Lake Wimico, goes through the intracoastal, and cuts through the canal and into St. Joe Bay, which the canal was never there until the early 1900s, and the entities that needed that canal are no longer in existence.
Well, all the industry that used to depend on the Gulf County Industrial Canal is now gone. You know, we're a tourist-based ecosystem or economy. Like it or not, that's what it is now. And we have the opportunity and the obligation, if you ask me, to return this ecosystem to the way it was before we dredged this canal. But we need to remember that 100 years ago, all of these numbers were zero. There was no exchange between the saltwater environments of St. Joe Bay and the freshwater ecosystems of Lake Wimico and the Apalachicola River drainage basin. And to me, you can't argue with the way nature made it, with the way God made it. So it's pretty simple what we're doing.
Yeah, absolutely. It's simple for sure. There's a lot of great science involved, and Dusty showed me a really cool one today that you wouldn't think of, just to actually use our own taste palettes to test it. So he told me, actually, if we test the water here, let me get nice and wet here, but that's salty. I mean, it's salty. We went up river a little bit more into the Indian Bayou, and it's not far. What would you say, Dusty, about a couple hundred yards?
We went probably 3 bends up the river, so yeah, 200 or 300 yards up the bayou, yep.
We did a water test there, and it tastes like bottled water. Here is drastically different. So you wouldn't think to test it that way, but it works. You can tell a huge difference, and Dusty's been here all his life. He's known me most of my life, and he can attest that it never was like that decades ago.
No, it wasn't. And there's a lot of reasons too that are a little more complex than we can get into today. It's all on the website. We have the opportunity to set this ecosystem back, turn back the clock 100 years. We can do it at a relatively low cost, relatively simple engineering facility. You know, the construction of a lock is a big deal. We just need to get the Corps involved and for them to see this as the problem that it is. I really think that everybody right now wants the best. A lot of people don't understand the problem, so that's what we're trying to do, is explain exactly what it is that's happening here and what's been happening here for quite some time.
Absolutely. Guys, I want to invite you to check out baysaversfl.org. The Facebook is growing rapidly. Go check it out. Go join. It's free to join. There's no obligation, but just your support. Thanks for joining us. We're going to go back to enjoying this awesome day here at Lake Wimico and in the intracoastal, and hey, maybe enjoy some fishing.
Yeah, we should have brought our rods. We messed it up, didn't we?
We didn't bring our rods today. We weren't prepared. We were so excited just to get the boat out, and excited actually just to get out of the office. But thanks for joining us. Check out their program, Bay Savers. Awesome group. Take care, guys.